Sharks, the apex predators of the sea. Capable of smelling blood from a mile away, these creatures will stop at nothing to catch their prey, even if it means committing atrocious acts such as war crimes. And despite all this, humans are 30 times more likely to be killed by a falling coconut than a shark. You would think then that sharks have little to no interest in humans, right? Well, you'd be wrong. This shark is out to prove she's more deadly than a coconut, and nobody is going to tell her otherwise. This is the story of Maneater, and today we're going to be getting all achievements to prove that we're the true apex predator of the seas. Maneater is told through the eyes of a true-life documentary team, following a shark hunter called Scaly Pete and his son Kyle. Playing through the tutorial, we learn the basics of the game, such as eating smaller fish to gain health and nutrients to level up. After we finish the tutorial, we earn the first of 44 achievements. Shortly after the tutorial, Scaly Pete sends hunters after us, and after defeating the hunters, we attempt to quickly cancel the show by killing off its main character. However, Pete is ready and waiting with a harpoon to quickly end our attempt at cancelling Pete. We earn our second achievement, as we soon realise that the shark we've been playing as is actually pregnant. As Pete takes the baby shark away from its mother, the baby shark rips Pete's arm off, leaving him looking like Captain Hook, and leaving us to fend for ourselves in the mean waters of the bayou. After we make our way through the swamps, we reach the grotto, an area where we can spend our nutrients to level up evolutions we obtain throughout the game. We get an achievement for evolving for the first time, and decide to head back out into the bayou. Throughout the game, there's landmarks we need to find that have some funny moments told by the voice actor who plays Jerry in Rick and Morty. There's also nutrient caches which will help us evolve and level up quicker, which we do back in the grotto, and get another achievement, this time for reaching teen growth. As a teenager full of angst and a disdain for any form of authority, we decide to lash out against some bounty hunters. It's somewhat like the wanted level in GTA, where the higher infamy you get, the stronger the hunters chasing you will get. We get an achievement for reaching infamy level 1, as well as a new electric mutation. Feeling confident with our newfound infamy, we decide to take on the first of 7 apex predators. These are stronger versions of enemies we'll encounter in the game. They are quite easy though, and just have more health, not really posing much of a threat. It does give us an achievement though, as well as another mutation. We need to keep growing if we've any chance of defeating Scaly Pete, so we decide to eat some humans, who in this game have the survival instinct of a dodo. After we finished up at the all-you-can-eat human buffet, we head back to the grotto and get another achievement, this time for reaching adulthood. Looks like it's time to start paying our taxes. We spend more time fighting off more bounty hunters and reaching a higher level of infamy, before taking on another apex predator, and our first instance of shark-on-shark violence, the Mako shark. This thing was pretty fast, but we're able to take it down for another achievement. We return back to our humble beginnings in the bayou for another apex predator, the apex alligator. This alligator doesn't fight fairly though, and has brought a few other alligators as backup. However, after taking care of them, we're easily able to take down the apex alligator for yet another achievement. And you know what? I think for good luck, we should head out into the vast ocean space and take down another apex predator. This time it's the hammerhead shark. We end up toying with it at the end, and what do you know? Defeating this shark also gives us another achievement. I got bored of taking down all the apex predators, so I decided to take a break from apex hunting and check how my good friend Scaly Pete was doing. His son Kyle decides to give him a hand, seeing as Pete has only one left, and we've been getting bigger and badder from moving up the food chain, so this really wasn't a fair fight to begin with. We get another achievement for defeating Pete for a second time, and not content with only eating Pete's hand, we decide to try and end Pete once and for all. Kyle is able to douse us with gasoline, and Pete does set us on fire, but if Pete had played Pokemon, he would know fire isn't effective against water Pokemon. Shout out to Kyle for trying to save us, but it backfires as the boat explodes, killing Kyle and sending Pete blasting off again. That explosion somehow did not kill us, and it actually ends up making us stronger, as we reach Elder status, as well as giving us another achievement. It doesn't seem like a fair trade-off. Pete loses a son, and we get an achievement, but that's just the way the news goes. We decide to take our mind off our near-death experience by venturing back out into the ocean to take on the apex great white, which in doing so would solidify our status as the baddest fish in the sea. Luckily for us, it didn't put up too much of a fight, and we're able to defeat it quite soundly, and earn another achievement. Before checking on Pete again to see how he's coping with the loss of his son, we take a quick detour and decide to get our infamy up yet again. On reaching level 6, we get a new mutation, which gives us an achievement for getting 50% of all evolutions. Pete seems to be handling the situation in his own way, sporting a new look. He looks like he's going to decide whether I live or die by flipping a coin, but good on him for persevering. Back in the grotto, we've reached peak physical performance. You may not like it, but this is what peak shark performance looks like. We get another achievement for reaching peak physical status, and just like that, it's time for a visit to SeaWorld, where we have to take on the apex killer orca whale. These whales hunt sharks in real life, so this was always going to be our toughest battle yet. But God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors, and we're able to take it down for another achievement. It was time for the final showdown of the apex predators, the apex sperm whale. This thing had a massive health bar, but it was big and quite easy to hit and take down. We got an achievement for taking the sperm whale down, and despite it leaving a salty taste in our mouths, it was well worth it, as right after we got another achievement for taking down all the apex predators and becoming the new and rightful apex predator of the seas. As we were now the new undisputed queen of the ocean, we decided that there was only one predator left to defeat once and for all, and that was Scaly Pete. Pete hadn't been taking his loss well, and had upgraded his boat with a whole bunch of new weapons and upgrades, and if that wasn't dangerous enough, he was pretty close to going insane if he wasn't already. I don't fancy becoming Shark Etouffee, so it's time to take on Pete, one last time. Pete's boat is attached with electric rotators, and I don't know how the whole ocean didn't get zapped, but we need to find a way to destroy them. Thankfully, Pete doesn't aim so well with his torpedoes, which we can pick up and then fling at the rotators to destroy them. After destroying them both and damaging Pete's boat to about half health, he decides to call in some more reinforcements. They're absolutely no match for us, however, and with one final torpedo, we're able to destroy the boat and defeat Pete once and for all, earning us another achievement. We try to make sure Pete can't return with another boat, as we try to devour him, but Pete sadly has other ideas, and had planned ahead, as he laced his boat with enough explosives to create an explosion big enough to destroy his boat, as well as himself and us. Rest in peace, Maneater. We'll never forget you. Inexplicably, we were actually able to survive that massive explosion, so we continued ruling the sea, but this time we were on a hunt for the truth. So we started the DLC, the Truth Quest. Now, truth be told, no pun intended, this DLC seemed kind of rushed together with no real storyline involved, but there was at least a difficulty spike, which actually adds a bit of a challenge to this otherwise easy game. After travelling to Plover Island, a military complex where we must uncover a government conspiracy, we get another achievement for beginning the quest for truth. The one good thing I will say about this DLC is the enemies they introduced were quite interesting and make for cool boss designs, like this great white shark who has the electricity evolutions we've been acquiring in the base game. With these mechanics, the bosses in this DLC do put up more of a fight than the bosses in the base game, so it is a bit more difficult, but we're still able to defeat this electric great white and earn our second DLC achievement. Next up on our list of government enemies to take down is the Shadow Orca, which has the potential to poison us. Even in these new areas, however, we're still the queen around here, and we're able to take it down with ease and get another achievement for defeating the orca. The next boss is probably the most interesting design of any enemy in the game, the Bone Sperm Whale. The jokes also write themselves. Despite it looking the most menacing out of any of the bosses so far, we defeat it, and get an achievement for boning the sperm whale. All the mutated bosses in the DLC so far have been dropping atomic mutations, so after we get the last of them, we get another achievement for acquiring the whole set. We decide to take a break from the DLC, and return once again to our humble beginnings, where we get an achievement for reaching level 40. We then do a little cleanup and get a whole bunch of achievements for completing all objectives in each region, as well as finding all nutrient caches, license plates, and all the landmarks in each region to 100% each region. Whilst 100%ing every region, we also get an achievement for finding all landmarks, as well as another achievement for finding all nutrient caches. Shortly after, we get one final collectible achievement for finding the last license plate. With all collectibles found, we get the Queen of the Sea achievement for 100%ing every region in the base game. As we had finished off all the collectibles, all that was left to do in the base game was to wreak havoc and reach Infamy level 10. At this stage of the game, we had maxed out everything we had needed to make this easy, so this was a piece of human-flavoured cake for us. After reaching Infamy level 10, we received the final mutation in the game, which meant we had unlocked all evolutions, giving us an achievement, as well as the achievement for reaching Infamy level 10. All that was left was the remainder of the DLC achievements, one of which was hunting down questers, who were these stereotypical tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorists who were scattered throughout the entire map. They were all hidden away in random spots, and after devouring the last one, we gained the achievement for eating all the questers. The True Quest DLC had a similar infamy system, except this time you had to reach a bounty level, as it was the army hunting you down, which made for more cinematic fights, such as reenacting scenes from this shark's favourite movie, Black Hawk Down. After increasing our bounty, and costing the army hundreds of millions in military vehicle damages, we finally reached bounty level 5, and earned an achievement for taking down Admiral Terra Nova. In doing so, we completed the final objective in the DLC, which gave us another achievement in very quick succession. Once again, full of confidence from our recent anti-military escapades, we decide to take on the final boss in the game, the Atomic Leviathan. This boss was an army experiment gone wrong, looking like an Egyptian riddle gone wrong. This thing had the head of a gator, the fins and tails of a shark, and the power of Godzilla. The Leviathan was also coated in armour, which could only be damaged by tail whipping its own attacks back at it, while dodging its radiation beam, which, if it hits you, makes you sick and weakens you. This thing also had the most health of anything we've ever encountered, and it's absolutely massive, easily able to snatch you up and bite away at you. And if that wasn't bad enough, once you get it down to half health, it summons all the other failed science experiments as backup. So keeping count, that's 3 bosses and 1 super boss. Thankfully, you don't have to defeat the backup, so long as you avoid them, and after a long fought battle, we were able to wear this massive, ungodly creature down, and finally beat it. And with that, we earned the Apex Eater achievement, and once and for all, cementing ourselves as the true apex predator of the sea. Our final act as the apex predator of the sea was to go to one last all-you-can-eat human buffet, and then burn off those carbs by finishing off some time trials. Once we finished the last time trial, we got an achievement for completing 100% of the time trials, and that also meant that we had finally 100%ed the DLC, giving us the last achievement in the game for completing all the quests in the DLC. I really had a lot of fun playing as a shark, and it was a very fun game to get all achievements in, even if it was a bit easy. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't. It really helps me as a small YouTube creator. Leave a comment also and let me know which game you want to see me get all achievements in. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.